gone sour. He couldn't define it, but the place had changed. He was accustomed to being on a happy ship, where people worked well and amiably with one another, convinced that they were all doing something worthwhile. One or two of them glanced nervously at the closed door of Bruno's office. "I still have 2 more weeks of convalescent leave to go, and then the Toubib has to sign off that I'm fit for duty," he said, referring to the doctor. "I just came in to take a look in my office to be sure you haven't borrowed all my pens and broken my printer." There was a slightly nervous laugh as the ranks parted and people shuffled aside, an expectancy in their eyes. Had they banded together to buy him a gift or filled his office with flowers? Bruno hoped not. Salaries in the mairie were notoriously low, and most of his colleagues had families to raise. "Good to be back, even briefly," he said as he opened the door. For a moment Bruno thought he had entered the wrong office. The desk was now under the window, and the rest of the furniture had been changed. His battered old metal filing cabinet had disappeared, along with the elderly printer which he'd kept on top. In its place stood a humidifier, and he could smell incense burning, a vanilla scent. He couldn't see if his own swivel chair with its signature squeak had gone as well, since it was now behind the desk and occupied by a woman, her face silhouetted by the light spilling in from the window behind. "Didn't anybody ever teach you to knock?" came a sharp voice, her tone suggesting that his intrusion was yet another of many burdens to be borne. "Not when entering my own office," he replied, trying to conceal his surprise. "Who are you? And why are you sitting in my chair?" "My name is Cantagnac, and I'm the new executive administrator to the chief of police." "And who are you?" "I'm the chief of police." "What was wrong with the office that had been prepared for you?" "It didn't meet the required norms. It was too small, with too little natural light. The workspace specifications for civilian officials supporting the police are very clear. I was told you were not due back to work until after your doctor's approval at the end of next week. And if that's your dog, it's against regulations to have animals in the workplace." "He's a great deal more than an animal," Bruno said, putting into his voice a calm that he did not feel. "He is a highly skilled hound dog who has saved 2 lost children and an elderly citizen suffering from Alzheimer's disease who was close to dying of hypothermia. He also helped us save a civilian hostage. His predecessor was shot dead, saving me from an armed terrorist. I only hope, mademoiselle, that you might prove to be half as useful as Balzac, who was presented to me by the Ministry of the Interior to replace the dog that died. And now I'd like my chair and my privacy, please." He held open the door for her, but she didn't move. "If this used to be your office," she snapped, "you should be ashamed of yourself. Files in disarray, worksheets not completed, proper records not kept, your annual health and fitness reports never filled out, letters unanswered, and you have yet to file a single report on the work of your subordinate officers in Les Aisies and Montignac." "Mademoiselle Cantagnac, I have a conference with the mayor which will last for about an hour. When I get back, I want this office vacated, the desk and chair returned to where they used to be, and a report from you on what you claim to have achieved so far." He pondered, adding that if she did not comply, she faced arrest for obstructing a senior officer in pursuit of his duties, but he would save the big guns for later. And there would most certainly be a later. "You're still on convalescent leave," she replied. "You have no status here until you're formally declared fit for duty. Au revoir, Monsieur le Chef de Police." Telling himself that this was but a temporary retreat, and summoning what little dignity he could manage, Bruno walked out, leaving the door open. He wondered what on earth the woman had done in her previous job to have been assigned here. He would have to find out. Then, as Bruno began to walk away, he heard a familiar but unusual sound.